Hey folks, C.W. Johnson Jr. here. And no, I don't have a microphone today. That's my voice echoing off the walls of historic Fort Morgan State Historic Site. It's not quite off the beaten Civil War path some of the other places I've been to because it's near Gulf Shore, Alabama. And you can see there's actually people in the background of my video who don't have any release forms that further the sign. So there's actually a lot more people here than I thought, but it is a lesser known part of the Civil War. Now this area was originally called Fort Boyer, and it saw action in two battles during the War of 1812, which I talk about in my videos about the Battle of New Orleans. So, and then saw, it was a history. Hello. It was a stopping place for Native Americans during the Shameful Trail of Tears. Then it saw major action in late 1864 during the American Civil War, in which David Farragut famously said, "Dang the torpedoes," for all the kitties out there. Full speed ahead, he tied himself to the mast of his ship, I think it was the Hartford, and plowed past this fort to capture Mobile Bay, which actually didn't fall until 1865. And it was the last safe area for blockade runners to get through the Union blockade of the South. So the fall of Mobile was a major part in the strangulation and the kind of plan of destroying the Confederacy's ability to get supplies from the outside. Then also troops were stationed here during the Spanish-American War, World War I, and then definitely World War II, to guard against German submarines laying mines, or German agent saboteurs landing down on Gulf shores. So, let's go and explore Fort Morgan State Historic Site. And by the way, it was named after the Revolutionary hero Daniel Morgan, who fought under George Washington. I believe he also was at Saratoga and Cowpens. He's called the American Hannibal. So let's go explore Fort Morgan. Six Flags over Alabama.
Yeah.
Let's check out the museum. Sally? Damn the torpedoes. Full speed ahead. Let's take a tunnel back in time. Yeah. Oh, I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. I don't know if you can just imagine being in a fort like this, in cramped quarters, though the people were shorter back then, and this being in an area like this, in the heat of summer in the South, wearing woolen clothing with water dropping off of you. Looks like there's sort of cave-like stalagmites up there, kind of. Stalactites. And remember there's like cannonballs bouncing off of this. And knowing that, and hearing those rockets and those booms, and this hoping that these bricks hold, they're all between you and death, and if the cannonball explosion doesn't kill you, the solid starts smashing into this wall, the bricks falling on top of you would. So it took some guts to stay in a place like this. Terrence Balkatic zoom in. Some deep spiritual meaning. Nino Morricone music playing in the background. Zoom out. Boom! This must be from service during World War II or one. Sandbags. They really want you to keep off. Ow! I wonder if that memorial down there is to all the people who fell down these stairs before they put this railing in. guy could get lost in a place like this. Whoa. Here's a plaque about the Overland campaign to capture Mobile. There you see General Richard Taylor, who you can learn more about in my video about exploring Louisiana, the Battle of Mansfield historic site. And then there's General Edward Canby, you can learn more about in my video about the New Mexico campaign of 1862. As you can probably guess, this gun is not from the war between the states, but represents Fort Morgan's part in the coastal defenses of the South against German submarines and saboteurs during World War II. Oh, cool. Here's a plaque about Bernardo Galvez, who was the Spanish governor of Louisiana, and the role of this point during his campaign in the American Revolution against the British Fort Sarlet. Now that should be a movie. I plan to do a future episode on Galvez in the future. Here's the obligatory plaques about what was then called Fort Boyer during the War of 1812. Check out my video about the Battle of New Orleans to learn more. Here's the battle that the Americans won, the first battle, September 14th, 1814. And then here's the battle they lost. Actually, it was after the Battle of New Orleans. The British won the second battle of Fort Boyer, February 8th through 12th, 1815. But it was a horrific victory. The British lost the war, so they had to surrender the fort. Now we're outside the fort, where these plaques down here, if you can read them through all the bird nests, Alabama, clean this bird nest off. You can read about the siege of the fort after the Battle of Mobile Bay, as well as the Confederate perspective. Ooh, cannons. This place reminds me of those pictures you see of the Maginot Line in France, at the beginning of World War II, or maybe those bunkers that the Germans had pointing up for Normandy on D-Day. That's a mighty big fire pit. This place could be like a theater. To be. That is very unoriginal. What you want, Mary? You want the moon? Say the word, and I'll throw a lasso and bring it down. Say, that's a pretty good idea, Mary. I'll give you the moon. Here is a historical marker on the side of the highway that has to do with the Battle of Fort Morgan, August 23rd, 1864. Now, way down the road, about 21 miles from Fort Morgan State Park, is this historical marker about Camp Withers, which was a camp for Confederate soldiers during the war between the states. Oops. Hey folks, C.W. Johnson Jr. here. In today's episode of Civil War, Off the Beaten Civil War Path.